Hey everybody, it's time for another round two winners bracket game in Strat-Bats. And it's the Baltimore Orioles and the Cincinnati Reds. So here you see the starting pitchers for today's game, the 1969 version of Mike Cuellar and the 1990 version of Jose Rijo. We'll get to the lineups as we go through them. Rather than read them off all at one time, we'll just go at one at a time. It's Pete Rose, 1969. He's playing right field. 2-7. 2-7's a ground ball to short, handled by Ripken, and there's one away. Joe Rose is gone. That'll bring up little Joe Morgan, second baseman, his 1975 season. And we have a 6-9, so under Cuellar for a 6-9. Cuellar. Ground ball shortstop X, that's going to be Ripken again. And Ripken, as you might expect, is a 1. And we get a 6. So a 1 and a 6 is an out. And there's 2 away. 2 up, 2 down. 2 ground balls to Ripken. Brings up Eric the Red, Eric Davis, his 1987 season. It's a 2-11. And a 2-11 is a fly to left, and Cuellar handles the Reds 1-2-3 in the first. So we go to the bottom of the first, and it'll be Paul Blair to lead things off for the Orioles, his 1969 version. The roll's a 1-8. 1-8's a line out to second, line out to Morgan. And there's one away for Manny Machado, his 2016 version. It's a 4-7 for Rijo. Rijo on a 4-7 is a walk. So, one out walk. And that brings up Cal Ripken. Cal Ripken, his 1991 version. 2-9. And that's a ground ball shortstop A. That's a double play, 6-4-3. And the inning is over. The Orioles go in order, and after one complete here in round 2, it is Cincinnati nothing and Baltimore nothing. Top of the second, Frank Robinson. This is kind of interesting because I could have gone with Frank Robinson for the Orioles or the Reds, but I decided to go ahead and do his Cincinnati 1961. So he is a Red in this tournament, not an Oriole. It's 5-10 off of Cuellar. Cuellar, a 5-10 is catcher X. That's Chris Hoyles. And Hoyles is a 3. And that's an 11. So we'll see what happens with that. A catcher. 3 and an 11 is a foul out. So he fouls out to Hoyles for out number 1. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, George Foster, his 1977 season. We get a 4-10 for Cuellar. 4-10 is a ground ball third base X. That's going to be Machado. And Machado is a 1. We get an 18. So a 1 and an 18. Roll 20-sided die again. All right. Re-roll the 20-sided die, and it's a 15. And the 15 says it is out. Out number 3, which doesn't really matter in this case. It's simply a ground out to third. 2 down, and that'll bring up Tony Perez, his 1973 season. And that's a 5-6 against Cuellar. It's a fly ball to right, and that's going to end the Cincinnati second. So we go to the bottom of the second, still no score. And Eddie Murray will lead things off for the O's, his 1982 season. It's a 5-10 against Rijo. That's another catcher X, and this is Johnny Bench. And he's a 1, as you might expect. And that's a 3. So a 1 and a 3 would be a pass ball, but there's nobody's on base, so it's just going to be a pop out. So Murray pops to Bench. 1 down. And that'll bring up the hero of the first game, Ken Singleton. He had a 3-run homer for the Orioles in round 1. This is 1979 card. And we have a 3-6. And he's going to do it again. possibly. 1-7 is a home run. Almost jumped the gun there. 8-20 is a double. So an 8-20 will be a double. 1-7 is a homer. It is a 9. A 9, so it's a double. Singleton with a 1-out double. Brings up Boog Powell. He's inserted into the lineup as DH this game instead of Chris Davis. Going to give Boog Powell a chance. 1969. 6-5 against Rijo. Ground ball shortstop X. That's Barry Larkin. He's a 1. As you might expect. It's a 17. So a shortstop 1 and a 17 is an out number 3. And it says runner on first is out going to second, provides other runners advance 1 base. So runners advance 1 base on that. So Singleton will go to third. And Powell is out on the ground ball to Larkin. So there's 2 away. Runner at third, and John Lowenstein, his 1982 card. 6-8 against Rijo. 6 and an 8 is a fly to left. That's going to end the inning. So the inning is over. Nothing doing for the Orioles there. After 2 complete, we are scoreless. All right, top of the third, Johnny Bench, his 1977 season. And we get a 2-2. And that's a fly to left. Handled by Lowenstein, 1 away. Brings up the Todd father, Todd Frazier. He had 2 big home runs in round 1. And 6 RBIs, I believe. 4-5 against Cuellar. And that's a strikeout. So Cuellar sends the Todd father packing. 2 outs, base is empty for Barry Larkin, his 1991 season. It's a 3-3 for Larkin, and that's a ground ball to third, handled by Machado. And that's it for the Reds, as Cuellar has retired all 9 he has faced. And we go to the bottom of the third. It will be Jonathan Scope, number 8 hitter. And he's his 2016 season. For Scope, it's a 4-9 against Rijo. That's a strikeout. So Rijo puts the K on Scope. 1 away. Brings up Chris Hoyles, the catcher, number 9 hitter, his 1992 season. That's a 6-7 against Rijo. Ground ball second base X, that's Morgan. And as you expect, Morgan's a 1. That's an 8. 8. Second baseman, a 1 and an 8 is an out. No surprise there. 2 down, 4-3 ground out. Back to the top of the order, and Paul Blair. He lined to second his first time up. It's 1-7. And this time he's going to get a base hit. 1-3 is a triple. 4-20 is a single. That is an 8. That's a single for Paul Blair. 2-out single for Blair. He is an A stealer, but Johnny Bench is a 1 catcher too. So I'm going to go ahead and let Machado see what he can do. 4-5 against Rijo. That's a fly ball to center, and the inning is over. So nothing doing for the Orioles in the third. And after 3 complete, the pitchers are ruling it is no score. All right, top 4, and it's Pete Rose again. He grounded to short his first time up. We get a 4-8 off of Cuellar, and that's going to be a walk. So first Reds base runner of the game is a walk to Pete Rose to start the 4th. He's a D stealer, so he's not going anywhere. Here's Morgan. That is a 1-8 from Morgan, and that's another walk. So back-to-back walks, and we've got 2 on, nobody out, as the Reds try to get something going, and Eric Davis stepping to the plate. It's a 3-8. 3-8 is a strikeout. So Cuellar bearing down, 1 away. Brings up Frank Robinson, 1961 season. And I just dropped my red die, or actually my white die, so we'll bring that back real quick. Sorry for the delay. All right, here we go. It's a 5-10 against Cuellar. Catcher X, that's Hoyles. And Hoyles is a 3. we get a 16. Catcher, 3-16. Wild pitch followed by a foul out. So it is going to be a wild pitch. And that will move the runners up into scoring position. And then Robinson fouls out to Hoyles for out number 2. But now 2 are in scoring position for George Foster. Could walk him, but Perez is on deck. But you know what? They're going to walk Foster. They don't trust it. He had 52 home runs that year, so they're going to make a controversial move and intentionally walk Foster to load the bases for Tony Perez. 5-8. It's Cuellar. 5-8, and they're going to pay for it. 5-8. A 1-2 is a triple. 3-20 is a 2-run single. It is an 11, so it's a 2-run single by Perez, Mr. RBI himself. And the Reds now take a 2-0 lead. Foster goes to third. That brings up Johnny Bench. 3-3 is a walk. And that's going to load the bases again. Now the Orioles bullpen might be stirring. Here's the Todd father. He had a grand slam in the first game of the series of this tournament. It's a 1-8. He's trying to do it again. He might get a single though. 1-6 is that single. Anything else? And he will line to second. And he does. He lines to Scope, and that's going to end the inning. But the Reds strike for 2 runs here in the top of the 4th. And they take a 2-0 lead. And the Orioles now will be charged with trying to get some of that back with Cal Ripken to lead things off. It's a 4-7 for Ripken against Rijo. That's a walk. So not what you want if you're Rijo. You don't want to walk the leadoff batter when you're trying to protect the lead. Here's Eddie Murray into the heart of the order now. 2-8. 2-8. That's a single. So runners are at first and second with nobody out. And here come the Orioles. And Ken Singleton, he had a big 3-run homer in the first round. It's a 2-7. This time he strikes out, so that's 1 away. So he strikes out, and it's Spook Powell. 5-6 against Rijo. Potential double, 1-10. Anything else is a fly to right. It is a 20, so it's a fly to right for Powell. 2 down. And it brings up Lowenstein. 4-5 against Rijo. He is a fly to center, and that's going to end the inning. So Rijo pitches out of it and keeps the Orioles off the scoreboard. After 4 complete, it's the Reds 2, the Orioles nothing. Top of the 5th, and Barry Larkin. So 1-5, and that's a leadoff walk. So leadoff walk to Larkin, number 9 hitter. He is an ace stealer, so they may try to run here. And as an ace stealer, he starts out with a 15. Then we have to deduct for being held, and the catcher, in this case Hoyles, is a 3, which takes 2 away from that. So that makes it a 1-13. So they're going to try it. A 1-13, he'll make it. It's a 17, he's thrown out. So caught stealing, 2-6. Took a chance, didn't work. Here's Pete Rose. 3-9 for Rose. 1-6 is a single. Anything else, he'll line to first. It's a 12. He's going to line it right to Eddie Murray. 2 down for Joe Morgan. It's a 6-9. 6-9 against Cuellar is a ground ball shortstop X. That is Ripken. He's a 1. And we get an 11. That's usually an error. When you get that 10 or 11 or 12, I believe it's an error. And it is. It's a 1-base error on Ripken. So it's an E6. As Ripken makes the error. Keeps the inning going. And Morgan's a double-A stealer, so he's definitely going to be going. He's a 1-17. You take away 2 from Hoyles, it's a 1-15. So a 1-15 chance. And he made it barely. It is a 15, so good stolen base. he gets into scoring position with 2 outs for Eric the Red. That's a 3-5, but Eric Davis strikes out to end the inning. So the stolen base didn't come to fruition as far as bringing runs home. So we go to the bottom of the 5th, and it's still a 2-0 lead for the Reds. Here's Scope. 2-6 for Scope is a grounder to short, and that's 1 away. That will bring up the number 9 hitter, Chris Hoyles. Grounded to second his first time up. It's a 1-9 for Hoyles, and he's going to strike out. Chris Hoyles down on strikes. 2 up, 2 down. Rijo doing a number on the Orioles so far. Here's Blair. 1-6, and as soon as I say that, Blair just hit a home run. Solo shot for Paul Blair on that 1-6 result. 1-6 is a home run, so cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. And here's Manny Machado, speaking of home runs, looking at his column 2. But he rolls a 6, so it's off Rijo, 6-7. It's ground ball second base X. That's Joe Morgan. He's a 1. And that's a 13. And a 1 and a 13 is an out. So the inning is over. But the Orioles get a little bit closer, thanks to the solo home run by Paul Blair. And at the end of 5, it is the Reds 2, Orioles 1. All right, 2-1 games. We start at the top of the 6th. Frank Robinson. It's 210. 210 is a single for Frank. So a leadoff single. Grant Jackson is loosening in the Oriole bullpen. Here's George Foster. 3-7 is a strikeout. So Foster down on strikes. Brings up Tony Perez. 3-7, and that's a single for Perez. And Robinson, they're going to hold at second base. Runners at first and second with 1 out for Johnny Bench. 4-8 for Bench against Cuellar. 4-8 is a walk. So that's going to load the bases. And now the Orioles have a decision to make. Do you bring in Grant Jackson or stick it out with Cuellar? The Todd father is up. And he has retired him twice. So let him stick with him one more batter. 2-2. 2-2, and it worked. Ground ball shortstop A. That's a double play to end the inning. 6-4-3. And nothing doing for the Reds here in the top of the 6th. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, and it'll be Cal Ripken starting things off. Get a 4-6 off of Rijo, and that's a leadoff walk. Brings up Eddie E. Drinkin' B. Murray. 5-11. Ground ball pitcher X, and Rijo is a 2. And we get a 9. So a 2 and a 9 is an out 3, and that's a double play. So we'll call it a 1-6-3 double play. 2 quick outs. Brings up Ken Singleton. And that's a 1-8. 1-8's a walk. So the inning continues for Boog Powell. 4-7 against Rijo. Another walk. So it's a good thing they got the double play because you'd really be in trouble. Here's John Lowenstein. 5-6. 5-6, a 1-10's a double. 11-20 will end the inning on a fly ball. It's an 18, so it's a fly to right. And the Orioles leave a couple guys on base. And at the end of 6, it's still Cincinnati 2 and Baltimore 1. Okay, top 7, and the Orioles have gone to their bullpen for Grant Jackson, his 1973 season. He was 8-0 with a 1.91 ERA to go with 9 saves. So Grant Jackson, another lefty, will be in to relieve Cuellar to start the 7th inning, facing Barry Larkin, bottom of the order. It's a 6-6 against Grant Jackson. And that's a line out to third. So line out to Machado. One away. Back to the top of the order, and Pete Rose. 3-6 for Rose is a single. So a one out single for Rose. And we're going to bring up Joe Morgan. 4-7 for Grant Jackson. Potential double 1-2, but not a good chance. 3-20, and we have a fly to center. That's a 15, so it's a fly to center. 2 away for Eric the Red. 6-3 for Grant Jackson. Fly ball right field X, and that's going to be the right fielder Singleton. And he is a 3. That's a 17. So we'll see what the outfielder 3 and a 17 brings about. Out number 1, so that's the third out of the inning. And there's nothing doing for the Reds. 7th inning stretch time. It is still Cincinnati 2, Baltimore 1. All right, bottom of the 7th, Rijo back on the mound to face Jonathan Scope. 3-3. 3-3 is a ground ball to short. That's one away. Brings up Chris Hoyles. And we might get a pinch hitter for Chris Hoyles. I think we will. So Chris Hoyles will be removed for a pinch hitter. And it's going to be Mickey Tettleton. So Tettleton pinch hitting for Hoyles. 1-8. And look at that. Mickey Tettleton just hit a pinch hit home run. Mickey Tettleton on a 1-8 just hit a pinch hit home run. And we are all tied at 2. And Tettleton will stay in the game to catch. Going forward, we are tied at 2. The Reds bullpen is now loosening after that. And that brings up Paul Blair. Rijo trying to shake it off. 2-6. Ground ball, 2-6 is a single, 1-7. 8-20 is a line out. It's a 14, so he lines out to third for out number 2. Brings up Machado. It's a 1-7, and that's a fly to left to end the inning. But the pinch hit home run by Tettleton has now tied the score. 7 complete. It is Cincinnati 2, Baltimore 2. Top of the 8th, and new pitcher for the Orioles is Darren O'Day, his 2015 season. 8-2 with a 1.52 ERA and 6 saves. He'll be facing Frank Robinson, George Foster, and Tony Perez. 1-6. 1-6 for Robinson is a single, so a leadoff single for Frank Robinson. As the Reds try to get that lead back. Here's George Foster. 3-2 is a fly to right. One away. Brings up Tony Perez. 1-8. And that's a strikeout for Perez. So 2 down. And it's up to Johnny Bench. And that is a 6-9 against O'Day. And that's a strikeout to end the inning. So O'Day, after a leadoff single, comes back and retires the side. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and we'll have a new pitcher when we come back for the Reds. Bottom of the 8th, and new Reds pitcher is Aroldis Chapman. 2015 season, 4-4 with a 1.63 ERA and 33 saves. We'll be facing Cal Ripken to start the bottom of the 8th in a 2-2 tie. It's a 2-9 for Ripken, and that's a ground ball to short, one away. So 1 down for Eddie Murray. It's a 5-2 off of Chapman, and that's a strikeout. Sure, Chapman's card, as you can tell, is loaded with strikeouts. All right, Murray's gone. 2 up, 2 down for Ken Singleton. And that's a 5-5, and that's a strikeout. So the Orioles go quietly in the 8th. We go to the 9th. New pitcher for the Orioles when we come back, and it'll be Zach Britton. So it's a 2-2 ball game. As we go to the 9th, we're not going to do what Buck Showalter did and leaves it Britton in the bullpen. He's coming in. Top of the ninth, all tied at 2. New Orioles pitcher is Zach Britton. 2016 season, 2-1 with a 0.54 ERA and 47 saves. Of course, it's not a save situation, but he's trying to keep the score where it is. First up is Todd Frazier, 3-5. It's going to be a base hit. 1 to 2 is a double. Anything else is a single. And that's a single for Todd Frazier. And now Barry Larkin could be up there to bunt. He is, let's see here. On the basic game, the bunts don't matter about the bunting ability. It's just on the basic chart. So we go to the basic chart for bunting, and it just goes by what's on here. So, but they're going to have him do it. Roll 2d6s. We're rolling 11. That could be interesting. 11 on a sacrifice says that the batter pops up to the first baseman, runners hold. So a failed sacrifice ends up popping to Murray. So it's up to Pete Rose and Morgan. Here's Rose. 4-7 against Zach Britton. That's a ground ball, second base X. That's Scope. Scope's a 2. And that's an 8. Second baseman, a 2 and an 8 is out number 3. Out number 3, which is the double play. So it is a 4-6-3 double play to end the top of the ninth. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Chapman's going to be in for his second inning of work, and he'll be facing Boog Powell to start the bottom of the ninth. He's going to try to keep it right where it is and send us to extras. Boog Powell and company is looking to do a walk-off. It's a 2-9, and that's a fly ball to right for Boog Powell. 1 away. Brings up Lowenstein. And let's see here. Normally, if you were playing lefty-righty splits, you would pinch hit for Lowenstein because his left column, he just doesn't hit lefties. So I'm going to try to be realistic on this and pinch hit for him with Adam Jones. So Adam Jones is going to be the pinch hitter, and then he'll take over in left field. So Adam Jones, I'm trying to play it, as realistic as possible here. So Jones will be pinch hitting against the lefty Chapman. It's a 4-6. Ground ball, shortstop X, that's Larkin. He's a 1. And that's a 10. That's a good play. You get 11 or 12 is the error, but a 10 is a good play. 2 down, and of course Jones will stay in the game to play left field. Here's Jonathan Scope. 1-3, ground ball to second, and we've got extra innings as both bullpens were tight. So 9 was not enough. We go to the 10th. It's tied at 2. All right, top of the 10th, and since he only faced 3 batters, Zach Britton's going to stay in for a second inning. It's a 4-7. And a 4-7, the ground ball, second base X. That's Scope, who is a 2. And that's a 6. A 2 and a 6 is an out. So Scope makes the play. Morgan is out, 1 away. Brings up Eric the Red. Eric Davis, a 1-5, is a single. So Eric Davis trying to get something going here with the base hit. And he's a double-A stealer, so he's looking to steal. Tettleton is also a 3 defensive catcher, so it's a -2 off of the 17. So it's a 1 to 15, and he'll be safe. It's a 7, so he made it. Eric Davis is in scoring position for Frank Robinson. And that's a 6-8 against Britton. 6-8's ground ball, shortstop X. That's Ripken. He's a 1, and that's a 9. So 1 and a 9 is an out 3. So other runners advance. No, I'm sorry, if the runner at second, he is going to advance. So that puts him to third base on the out. So 2 outs and a runner at third for Big George Foster. 4-6 4-6 off of Britain. 1-5 is a single. 6-20 will be a line out, but the single would produce a run. 1-5. It's an 18 though, so it's a line out to Murray at first. The Reds are done in the 10th. We go to the bottom of the 10th, and we'll come back with a new pitcher for Cincinnati. All right, bottom 10, we go from one hard thrower to another. Rob Dibble, his 1990 season, 8-3 with a 1.74 ERA. Leading off is Mickey Tettleton. He hit the pinch hit home run in the 7th that tied the score, so he's looking to walk it off. And that is a 1-7. 1-7, and he might have done it. 1-15 is a home run. 16-20 is a double, and the game continues. 1-15, and it's a walk-off. It's a 5, and he's walked it off. So obviously the player of the game was Mickey Tettleton. He was 2 for 2 with 2 home runs. And after a hard-fought victory, the Orioles advance in the tournament in the winner's bracket with a hard-fought 3-2 victory over the Reds. Tough day for Rob Dibble. He faced one batter and gave up the dinger. Zach Britton, 2 gutty innings of relief to get the win. And Mickey Tettleton, the man of the hour for the Orioles. So as we go to our bracket, the Orioles now await the winner of the Yankees-Tiger series to see who they're going to play. And the Reds will drop to the loser's bracket. So let's see how they're going to play that. I've got to fill this in down here. There's the Reds. Okay. So the Reds will be playing their next opponent, and another loss by the Reds, and they're eliminated. So right now the Orioles did it, and Mickey Tettleton, your man of the hour. So I hope you enjoyed that presentation of Strat Bats. Second round action, winner's bracket. And sorry, I apologize. I'm holding the camera by hand so you can see the cards a little bit better. Hopefully it's not too shaky. But I am moving around trying to keep score and do everything else. But hopefully it came out okay. Hope you guys are having a great day playing whatever game you choose to play. And as usual, we'll see you all down the road.